What looks like a haunted house and some sort of nightmare, and
inside a tornado, yeah.
just somehow
Insane.
survived something so frightening. And then the contest turned on the very next day. Jadson was on tour back then, and he pushed himself beyond measure, and then it turned into his favorite event on the calendar. He still calls Tahiti his absolute favorite, I think, for what he felt after charging beyond what he thought were his limits at that time back in 2011. Italo Ferreira, remember, a lot on the line for Italo, who's still trying to clinch his spot in the WSL Final 5. Jadson did get a start here. Got a bunch of driving pumps to set up that pit. A 3.83 on the opener, Laura.
Also go out and do his thing and try to get the best result of his season. You know, he had that 5th in G-Land, and we know he charges hard, airdropping out of the water.
Jadson looked super comfy, just staying active, under priority. Interesting now breaking down this overlapping format. How much space do both heats have on a day like today, Kelly? Do you have a lot of options out there?
It'll be interesting to see how people play the heats out here, but I personally don't love the overlap system here at Chopo unless there's just tons and tons of sets and lots of waves in each set.
Italo just waiting to try to find something to work with on the end. Not much of a score there. Jadson, a couple of 3 rangers early on in the non-priority side of the heat.
You know, going through this weird moment where it seems like no one can really get anything too special.
Yeah, you gotta reset the bar for yourself. Here we go, Jaddy, I think.
Looks like Italo
comes
flying out, so that'll change things around. That's exactly what he was hoping for, needing just a 5.4 to take the lead.
Mark for whoever gets into 5th.
As we take another look, Laura, what'd you see here?
Yeah, love this. This was a nice one. This is the best wave that's probably come through in the last couple of heats. Stood up nice and tall, really round and open, and Italo just flying through. He was super deep. So
yeah, it was better than I thought, actually, looking at it the second time. Right there, that beginning part was really nice. Kind of easy towards the end because he set his line so good in the beginning and got speed. You know, this one, Jaddy and Gabriel, guys like that get so dangerous because they just start catching a lot of waves. So he's going to have a huge lead now, and Jadson is forced to have to sit there now, but Felipe is the best trestle surfer I've ever seen. I know that Medina won last year, and I think it was fitting that Medina won the world title, rightfully so, but I thought that, who we got here? Another one from
Italo Ferreira getting a nice look at the tube here at Teahupo'o, doing a great job to get rid of a low score of a 1.6. So now that he's adding another keeper, we're just starting to wonder where Jadson might be. As we go right back into live action, getting things started, Jadson Andre getting the exit against his best friend Italo Ferreira and skipping out, trying to avoid basically dry reef.
As we see Jadson here on the first wave of the set, this was so well surfed, you know, chandelier-y, but he just punched through those sections, came out to see his...
And right into another big pit. Standing straight up is the 2019 world champ. So the goofy footers already had established themselves.
Italo falling from the sky on this one. That was an amazing drop by Italo. Nothing super deep, but good to see that size coming through again.
And then
Kelly, it's a giant wave. I mean, had he been deeper, he's looking at a giant score, but I think they're going to have to pull way back on that. It's just a game of inches on those big waves, you know. I mean, look, he had a heavy drop. He pretty much free fell, and then right here he already knew I'm just going to stay low because if he goes up the face, he gets too much speed and outruns it. But you can see his board from the front on view the whole time. I think the judge is going to probably pull back a little bit, but he's going to be safely in first place at this point.
And that was like Miguel's wave in a heat this morning. Was, you know, it had that height and all that drama to it, but you know, you're seeing the nose of the board.
As we look at Italo lunging into this first section, total roller coaster on the pumps, moving that T. Patterson with a fury of force there to make that completion. One of the fastest surfers on tour, just gunning for the exit. Brought a bunch of small boards here. What'd you see here on this one, Laura?
Yeah, love this from Italo. You know, just short but pumping over the foam balls. So, I mean, I don't think it'll go up into the excellent range, but, you know, it was still a really nice ride. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, they weren't foam balls, they were chandelier.
You just, all right, time to move on.
I'm wrong.
And how about advice for a guy like Italo who's clearly frustrated? Do you ever take it into your own game and say, oh, I need to change my surfing? Or,
yeah, I mean, that's what...
As we look at Jadson on a big section.
Oh, wow.
Now what do you do?
Room to move in
See,
that
now
one.
they got to compare Jadson's first one, and an air over the sled. Watch how deep he is here. I mean, that was really well done. See if he gets really back on that foam ball. See, he's back on that a bit on that foam ball. It was pretty nicely done. That was a deep barrel. It doesn't feel like the 10 zone or anything like that, you know, but it definitely feels like it could compete with Italo's better score. In a situation like this, you'd want to make it real clear, though. You don't want to be like almost, or we're dead even. And you know, Italo is the champ.
We will run out of time for Italo Ferreira. Jadson Andre with a big win, 9-point ride and an 8.0. Congrats to Jadson, and a big thanks to Kelly for joining us for such a long call.